Hi, in this video we're going to cover how we can do some point heat testing. So we're going to start by using a small circle over here. Let's rename this to circle. And what we want to get is that every time that we hit this circle, we're going to make the circle move into like some kind of a random position. So add a new formula, link the circle to it. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the circle can be moved to a random position using a vector that we see over here. Now, in order to control this vector, we're going to add a make, and we're going to make a vector in which we can set both the x and the y values to shape its length and position. Now, each of these values, again, we're going to make this time a random value. So now we have like a random value for the x, and we're going to copy the last part, the result over here, and then paste it over here so that we paste like the whole formula that we've created for that. One thing though, right now we're covering a square, -6 to 6. In this case, for the width that we have over here for the x-axis, we need to go from -9 to 9. So now every time that we do randomly, we have like the positions everywhere over the screen as a possibility. So let's rename this one to rand transform. Okay, so now we're going to create the region that can be hit. So in this new formula, we're going to link towards our transformed shape, and what we're gonna do over here is we're going to create like a hit region. So basically now the whole circle over here has become like a hit region, and it can return the label and a vector. We're not going to cover these things, we're just going to be concerned about the label right now, because this is going to give us like a way to test whether we're hitting the right thing or not. So let's rename this to hit test. And so now we can add, for example, our mouse position. I'm going to add it in between over here. So we're gonna make, and we're going to add over here our mouse position tracker. So just put it over here, that we can see it right away. So the moment that you click and you move around, you see our mouse is being tracked. Now I want to change this. I want to make sure that it's always tracking, not while I'm clicking. So I'm going to change this. So right now it's just clicking. Right now it's just tracking while I'm not clicking on screen. So let's see what we can do with this. Let's rename this to mouse position. Put it in somewhere in between over here, and so we have the hit test. Okay, I'm going to add like a new formula, going to link to the hit test. Or no, I'm going to link to the mouse position, sorry. So now we're getting the position of this mouse, and here we can test now whether we have like a hit. So if we're hit something which has like the label over here, then we're going to return true. Now it's not showing anything. Why is that? Because this view is not active. Let's move this now backwards again, and so now every time you see it's reacting. But you can't do it if it's like up front. It doesn't have, let's say, the result of where it is. So make sure you put it in the right position. So okay, so now we have like our hit test. We see it also over here. Now, the reason why it's working automatically is by default with our hit test. So over here, this is label, and over here our hit test is label. So if you would change this to something else, then it doesn't hit anymore. It doesn't recognize the label. So you have to make sure that we have over here label. So right now we always have a hit. I have to make like a hit test. Oh no, let's rename this to is hit. All right. Now you can see every time we hit it or we stop hitting it, it triggers every time the result. So you see it with the yellow blink over here when it's getting triggered. But we want to trigger it only the moment that we start hitting it, because we want to use this trigger over here to refresh the random position. So how can we do this? Well, we can change this by making it count. So if you go to this function over here, count rising edges, now it's only going to count every time that you have from a false to true. So if it's from true to false, it doesn't trigger, but if it's going from false to true, it does trigger. So you have like every time like a counter. Now it's triggering exactly the way that we want. If we just restart it again, you see it's starting with like a non-value, nothing has happened. So to make sure this is going to work, we're going to add over here a merge with a value that is added. So right now it's going to do everything properly. So check also with for the video tutorial regarding merge values if you need that. Okay, so now to trigger our random values, see this random value is set once, but what we can do is we can re-trigger the randomness by making sure that the value over here is like being fired upon new. So what we can use for that is we can use a snapshot. Oh, the snapshot is not at the right position, like over here. So we take the value, going to take like a snapshot of this value. So it is as if you're going to place it just once again. It's not going to change the value, but we're going to place it again. And we do this by the is hit. Do that over here as well. So that again, over here, this value is going to be reset as well. So in the updates, take a snapshot. And we're going to do is hit over here as well. So right now, every time that we hit it, it starts jumping away. And so this is just like a very simple thing. So you can make like a little game of it if you want. You can use, for example, a clock, and you can use the is hit to see how many times you could hit the circle within a certain amount of time and add a score for that. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.